Which team do you fear more, the Nets or the Clippers right now?
The Nets. I've always feared the Nets more, especially once they got James Harden. Now, if it's going to be a 2-on-2, Kyrie, KD, LeBron, AD healthy, Paul George, Kawhi, well, hey, I like the Lakers over all of them. But once they got James Harden, they got three guys that can go on a given night, go get you 40. And if you need to, two of the three guys can get you 40 on the same night. You saw what Kyrie did last night. James Harden did not shoot the ball particularly well. He turned the ball over at a high clip. Kyrie said, I got this, bro. And they couldn't do anything. Marcus Smart is a top-notch defender. Jaylen Brown is a top-notch defender. And they couldn't see him. And that's what he's capable of doing. You've never, his offensive game, Kyrie Irving has no holes in his offensive game. He can shoot the three. Skip, that mid-range that you talk about, he has that in his bag. Handles times 50. Getting to the rim, either hand. Finish it among any 6'10", he'll go into your chest and can finish it with English off the glass with either hand. Offensively, he's as sound as we have in the league. What I need to say about KD? Nothing, okay. James Harden, what I need to say about his offensive game? Nothing. And now he's motivated because he's in a place that he feels that he has a realistic chance of winning. So he's doing all the other things. James Harden is diving on the floor for loose balls. He's getting in there battling for rebounds. He's playing his tail off. You see Kyrie D'ing up. Kyrie's playing defense. He's not a great defender, but he's trying harder than he ever has before. So they are to be reckoned with, especially if KD comes back healthy. Now, Skip, I'm starting to get concerned because this hamstring this is about a month that this thing has been nagging at him. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Skip, it's on the other side. So maybe he compensated a little bit too much, and
the Nets say no, but to your point,
it's very possible. Yes. Yeah. So for me, Skip, it's the Nets. It's always been the Nets, especially once they got James Harden. Now, if we get a big, a serviceable big, I'm not talking about go get Jokic or somebody like that, but if we can get a serviceable big, I like the Lakers against anybody because I believe all things given, AD needs to be 100% healthy. Yep. He can't be 85. He can't be 90. He needs to be 100% healthy. But as far as for this question, it's the Nets. It's always been the Nets.
So you're completely dismissing that team down in the Staples basement.
You notice I mentioned their name?
You did not?
Okay, then.
Okay, so they have no relevance in this discussion to you. I want to get you on record as saying they are a non-factor.
Next question.
Next question said Shannon Sharpe. Thank you. That just went on video.
I don't care.
That might get played again and again in a little team meeting.
I hope they kept recording it.
Yep.
Take a picture of it. Next question.
Okay. Little known facts for you, Mr. Sharpe. The Los Angeles Clippers rank #1 in the league in three-point shooting. The Los Angeles Clippers rank #1 in the league in free throw shooting. The Lakers rank 25th in three-point shooting and 25th in free throw shooting.
Didn't we win a title doing that last year?
Interesting. So first in threes and free throws.
Where you rank defensively?
And 25th.
Where you rank defensively?
14th.
Okay, where
That's
we rank?
underachieving. You're ranked first, and I don't know how.
You do know.
It doesn't pass my eye test. On a nightly basis, it does not pass. You play fairly slow. You'll run when you get to chances, but you play slow and you keep your scores down. So I think that helps contribute to your defensive rating. That's all I can figure out. But when this team in the basement decides to play defense, you better look out.
Well, when did they decide to do that? Playing Steph Curry by himself.
Yeah, you'll see.
Playing Steph Curry by himself.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Clippers, before I get to the Nets, are the deepest team in the league. And I know you don't really pay any attention to them.
I know what they got.
You realize they have now elevated Nicholas Batum into the starting lineup because he knows how to play basketball. He's a little bit of a point forward facilitator who can get the ball, keep the ball moving, because he's a good guy with high IQ who will share it like crazy.
Well, Nicholas Batum works best if you ask little, expect even less.
Okay.
Because when they paid him that big money to go to Charlotte, what did he do?
Well, it just doesn't matter because he fits here. He's on the French national team because there's a big reason for that. He and Tony Parker dominated in Europe because they know how to play basketball. He knows how to play here, and that puts Marcus Morris Sr. coming in off the bench.
Yes.
And it is some clout he brings because he's an enforcer and a three-point shooter.
Yeah, he made some big shots for him.
Okay, so off the bench come Marcus Morris, Lou Williams, who's turned back into Lou Williams very quietly but very effectively, Reggie Jackson, who can just score it in bunches on anybody, Big Zoo, who you still love and you regret that he was a Laker and now he's a Clipper, and Luke Kennard, who's been a nice little addition to the bench. And I haven't yet mentioned Terrence Mann.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been watching.
I like him.
This kid from Florida State. He's a player.
I like him.
And all of a sudden, I'm watching last night. Of course, I watch Clippers games. I might be the only man on earth who actually turns on the Clippers, except for people in Clippers Nation. There are like 4 of those.
Yeah, you, right? Clipper, Darrell, Marcellus Wiley.
That's
Kick
it.
Rocks all year.
So maybe 3 of us watch Clippers games. So I'm watching last night in the third quarter. I don't even know if we have this. We might.
Man, go ahead.
We might have this. Watch this. Draymond. Boom! Draymond, he had to eat this right in his face. That is Terrence Mann, a guard. A guard. Look at this. Draymond.
Basketball.
Draymond. Look at Terrence Mann's face. Try it again, Draymond. Ate it. The little 2-guard goes in and just blocks his shot because that kid is stout.
You make it seem like Draymond got Anthony Edwards up. I mean,
I never said he was the greatest athlete ever.
Okay, you showed that.
I just thought that was a funny play and a significant I have arrived play for Terrence Mann.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so just for the record, do you realize that Kawhi is shooting a career-high 40% from 3, and Paul George is shooting a career-high 45% from 3?
Yeah.
Now let's flip it over to the team in the East that looks like it's the new beast of the East. Mm-hmm. Would you believe that the number 2 shooting team from 3 is the Nets?
Yeah.
And the second best free throw shooting team is the Nets?
Yes.
Let's see, the Lakers are 25th and 25th in those 2 key categories.
Yeah.
This is a 3-point shooting league. So here, just for the record, Kyrie is a career-high 42% from 3. James Harden is a career-high 41% from 3. Kevin Durant, I know he hasn't played many, I think it's 29 games total. He is a career-high 43% from 3. Do you realize what you're up against? Yeah. Lord have mercy.
So who is it?
They just shoot you out of the gym, both of them. But the problem is you have to face one before you face the other, unless you get lucky like you did last year.
No, hold on. But Skip Bayless, now you tell me you love clutch. Mm. You say LeBron lacks the clutch gene, and the NBA defines
I don't say it, I know it.
And you don't know anything. And the NBA defines clutch as the last 5 minutes of the ball game, in the game within a certain number of points. Mm-hmm. Did you know the Clippers have the worst net offensive rating in clutch and the worst defensive rating? Yeah. So not only can they not score in the clutch, they can't stop anybody else from scoring in the clutch.
But what they can do is blow you out.
But what happens with the Skip? When come playoff time, it's not likely because the games are like, I'm focused in on you. I don't have to worry about playing you, going to play the Sacramento, going up to Golden State, coming back down and play the Lakers. All my attention is on you. So the blowouts come few and far between. So now we know this. Hold their feet to the fire. Hold their feet to the fire and they'll crumble. We saw your guy, he started this go way back. With his knee was wobbling like a bridge in an earthquake, knees shaking at the free throw like.
When he was 17. He was 17 years old.
No, he wasn't.
You can't put a 17-year-old to the free throw line in a crucial Game 6 in Miami against the Heatles.
Whoa.
You can't trust him to do that.
Well, you can't ask him to do that. Was he on the court? Coach Pop trusted him.
Yeah, and he missed the first one.
Yeah.
And that would have iced it. Oh, well.
Well, he had
ice. The rest is Ray Allen history.
Like he was sitting on a bucket of ice.
Yeah, okay. So I will give you this. They have not been clutch this year, but it takes repetitions to figure out whose turn is it and how.
Hold on. They had the same problem last year.
They played like 17 games together last year, and they've had a little bit of that problem this year because Paul's been out for a while, and Kawhi was out. Then you got COVID issues going on. You got issues.
What happened to load management? I thought load management was the way to go.
You know what? Kawhi is not load management.
Whoa. So he never needed load management. He was just taking time off. So he had no PTO. He was just because he was big timing, he was just taking time off. Because I ain't no time out now.
He had creaky knees, not shaking knees, internally creaky knees.
Well, they got bad because they were shaking at the free throw line in Game 6 when he was a rookie.
He hurt his knees while shaking at the free throw line. They
were knocking.
Okay. Meanwhile, over on the eastern seaboard, you have a guy in Kyrie Irving who I think has become the clutchest player in the NBA.
Oh, he
you
big
want to talk
time.
about clutch,
He
G?
big time.
He just took the game over last night. I just sat back in awe of what he does because money on the table, he says, it's mine.
Skip,
Thank you.
Skip, you remember Isaiah and that put that fourth quarter together against the Lakers on that bad ankle?
I was there.
Kyrie reminds you a lot of Isaiah. About the same size. Isaiah had handles like that. Maybe not quite like that.
Not like this, but close.
He didn't shoot. Isaiah could finish at the rim with the big guys, could shoot the mid-range. Isaiah didn't shoot the three as much as Kyrie. But that's who Kyrie kind of reminds you of. But when he gets it going, Skip, when he gets the ball and he start hopping, you at his mercy. And you at his mercy, Skip, because you never know. Because last night he walked up into a 30-foot three. And then you worried about that, and then he dances on you, and then he pulls up in the 15-footer. And then you back up off him, you hug, and he's like, okay, he gonna try. And now he goes to the rim.
Then he goes to the rim, and he gets his shot up, and you say, how did he do that?
Skip, he was going to his left. And I was like, oh, they got it trapped on the baseline. And somehow he stopped and shot. I'm like, how y'all let him out of there? Well, they didn't let him out. He's just that good. He's just that skilled offensively.
As I tweeted last night, #ClutchGene. That's Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie.
And I think the other guy who's not playing right now, that guy KD, I think he's clutch. He's proven that and winning back-to-back finals MVPs. Even more clutch is Kyrie.
Yep, they're tough out. They're gonna be a tough out.
Okay.
They're gonna be a tough out because, like you said, James Harden struggled last night. He didn't shoot particularly well, and he had 7 turnovers. And somehow he still managed with 22, 10, and 8.
Okay.
But then Kyrie took the game over with 40.
Okay. And I realized that every once in a while, Kyrie Irving can be a little bit weird. And he can be a little bit unpredictable, and it can be a little bit annoying to his teammates and especially to his new head coach.
Yeah.
And their X factor is they have a new head coach who's never been a head coach, and he still seems a little disgruntled over the fact that he never even got communication from Kyrie about why he took his hiatus. Yeah. But the point is, when Kyrie is now back, he is a model citizen.
Yeah.
And every interview, he did one last night after the game on, what was it, TNT? Mm-hmm. He always volunteers about we have to play harder on defense every night. So they're getting a little bit. They moved up to 23rd. And they're not the worst defense.
He knows.
He knows. Mm-hmm. And last night he had 8 rebounds for a 6'2" guy. That means he's just playing his tail off.
Yeah, he is.
That's just hustle rebounds.
And that's the thing, Skip. Nobody's ever questioned Kyrie's talent. You don't go number 1 overall without having some talent.
Yep.
And you watch the way he can dance with the basketball. Like I said, he has no weakness offensively. Shoot threes, mid-range, foul him. He go into the free throw line, go make 90% of his shots.
Yep.
So, and then you pair KD. If I'm them, I'm erring on the side of caution. If KD needs another month, I got James. Skip. That's why you have 3 guys. So if one sits down, I've got 2. If Kyrie, when Kyrie was out, they had KD and James Harden. And if Harden were to sit down, KD comes back, they got KD and Kyrie.
And remember, soon to join the bench is Blake Griffin.
Yes.
And remember, trade deadline, they just might add Andre Drummond.
They might add somebody.
Okay.
I don't know if they can add him via the trade. They're going to need to buy him out, Skip.
Yep.
He wants to maintain probably those birds rights.
Yep.
So, someone can sign him and it doesn't count against the cap like what the Lakers did with KCP. But this is almost bordering on unfair.
Okay, so Shannon Sharpe, if your Lakers manage to avoid or survive the Clippers in the West, I mean avoid them as in somebody else shocks them and knocks them out of your path, you're going to heave a sigh and say, well, we got through the Clippers, but this time you're not going to get to face the 5th seed from the East with 2 of its best players hurt in Game 1. Well, not going to happen.
Well, hopefully Philly or the Bucks take their pound of flesh out of them and leave them wobbly for us.
Maybe Philly. And by the way, speaking of Philadelphia, there's this guy who used to be Dwight Howard. Do you know that guy?
Yeah.
Well, last night there was no Embiid and no
18
Ben Simmons.
12.
And they won at Chicago because of 18 and 12 from your ex-Laker Dwight Howard.
And this is why
18 and 12?
This is why LeBron gonna win the MVP.
Oh.
I got your guy resting.
Really?
Yep.
18 and 12.
My
guy's not resting. He's in COVID protocol.
Resting.
It's the barber issue. I told you got to be careful about your barber.
Hey, we both wear masks. But here's the thing, though, Skip. Those are missed games. The guy, the people that cast their ballots.
No.
Like, hold on.
They'll be back.
This dude, hold on. When?
Next game, I think they'll be done.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. He just had to sit, a little quarantine. It's okay.
Okay.
No problem.
My guy ain't got no quarantine.
Yeah.
My guy, you notice? My guy just played. No injuries, no COVID.
Huh. I did see him sit out that game at Sacramento
Don't do that, Skip.
so we could have 2 weeks off.
No, don't do that.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.